My fiancé's mom refused to attend our wedding unless it met her unreasonable standards. But what started as controlling behavior turned into full-blown abuse. This is how a simple wedding disagreement escalated into something terrifying and how we decided to break free. I, F24, am planning a wedding with my fiancé, M27. We've been in a long-distance relationship for 2 years and are planning to get married next year. My parents are supportive, but his mom isn't. It's not because she dislikes me, but because she's afraid the wedding won't be grand enough and that she'll be embarrassed. She wants a big wedding and insists on inviting important people from our office, which isn't what my fiancé and I want, especially since we're still in junior positions. She told us to postpone the wedding until we're 30 and can afford something more extravagant. If we still can't do it by then, she wants us to get married abroad to avoid embarrassment on her part. My fiancé has explained our plans and expressed how much he wishes she could be more understanding. But this has been a recurring pattern in his family. His mother often acts as if the world revolves around her. She doesn't take no for an answer. Now she's saying she won't come, and neither will her side of the family, if we move forward with our current plan. My fiancé, my family, and I are all okay with moving forward. But deep down, we both want her there. We've done everything we could to involve her, but she insists it has to be done her way. I find that hard to accept, especially since we're the ones paying for the wedding. We even suggested therapy, but she refused. Now she says this whole situation is stressing her out and that she's losing sleep over it. For context, I live in Southeast Asia, where weddings are usually family-centered. But in our religion, the groom's parents are not required to be present. I don't want my fiancé to feel like he has to choose between me and his family. I've tried hard to earn his parents' approval, and they have no issue with me as a person. It's just the wedding that doesn't meet his mom's expectations. My fiancé is a wonderful man and wants to marry me, with or without his mom's blessing. But I keep wondering, is this a battle I should keep fighting, or is it something I need to let go of? Relevant comments. Commenter 1. Have the wedding you want, and let her come or not. She probably really just wants you guys to wait to get married so she doesn't have to lose her little boy or something stupid. OP. Some part of me feels the same way. My fiancé's parents have huge fights over small things, and his mom drags the kids into it. She expects her sons to watch and even step in, which I think is unfair. On top of that, she expects my fiancé to cover her travel and some household bills. He's basically been the backbone of the family, acting like a second parent to his younger brothers. Commenter 2. She created an excuse instead of just saying I think this is a bad idea. Knowing someone long distance is very different from living together. I think you should try living together before you make a legal commitment. She should have just been honest about her concerns. OP. I don't think distance was the real issue. My fiancé and I have been traveling to see each other 3 to 4 times a year for 2 to 4 weeks each time. The problem seems deeper. Her mom has a certain image she wants to maintain around her friends. One time, she even told my fiancé she was embarrassed because her husband doesn't have a high-paying job like her friends' husbands. She said it wasn't fair to her. That felt pretty harsh, especially considering her husband could afford to buy a 2-story house in cash. Commenter 3. You have to put a stop to her interference and the best time is now. Your fiancé might need extra support or counseling because it's hard as heck to change the pattern of a lifetime, but your marriage will be a misery if you set a pattern of living up to her expectations. If she wants to tell people she boycotted your wedding because it wasn't posh enough, let her. OP. I agree. My fiancé and I have done couples therapy, but I've been encouraging him to go on his own too. I've been in individual therapy regularly. One thing I've noticed is that he avoids conflict, especially with his mom. She can be manipulative and gets hysterical when people don't do what she wants. That's been his whole life, so I know it'll take time for him to learn how to set healthy boundaries. Thanks for your comment. Commenter 4. Why does she care about inviting higher-ups from work? Does she work there too? OP. Nope, she hasn't worked in over 25 years. I think it's more about her social life and how much she cares about her public image. She's friends with higher-ups and some celebrities, so I think she feels pressure to keep up appearances, which she couldn't afford. Commenter 5. Your fiancé needs to figure out how he feels about this. And the problem is that how he feels about having a mother who is disordered and domineering and codependent like this means that it's very confusing for him emotionally. If he can't handle standing up to her and comfortably let her have her own process while simply proceeding to have the wedding that the two of you choose, then he might not be ready to get married at all, so watch this carefully. OOP, that's also how I feel. I think he needs to learn how to create healthy boundaries and say no, as his mom has been very dominating in their family. I'm suggesting that he go to therapy and learn, and I agree with you, if he wants to side with his mom, I think not having him and the wedding will be a wiser choice. For my future additional information from OOP, she reached out to me personally with different excuses, saying my fiancé's family is not on board with it and wouldn't bless our marriage. She wanted my fiancé to wait until he's more financially mature and stable before building a family. I told her we're both adults and this is our decision regardless of what she has to say. And now FMIL is calling my fiancé and becoming hysterical on the phone. Update, November 11th, 2025, a bit over 3 months later, after a few days, she reached out to me personally. She said she didn't approve of the wedding because she felt my fiancé wasn't financially stable enough yet. For context, we're both financially independent and covering all wedding costs ourselves. I replied politely, saying I'm sorry she felt that way, but assured her I'm not a financial burden to her son since I want to have my career and all. I also said we're both pursuing our goals and there's no reason to wait to get married. Apparently, that set her off really badly. She called my fiancé for 3 hours, hysterically yelling about how disrespectful it was for me to reply with a long message. When he got home, she continued yelling and even called me names. She made his brother sit there and watch everything. No one defended him. This went on for several days. Every time he came home, she'd start yelling again for hours. It reached a point where my fiancé packed up all his things to move out. But before he could leave, his mom found out, trashed all his belongings, literally ripped out his luggage in two, and called him horrible names. It didn't stop there. She physically attacked him and made the entire family watch. I still can't process how fast everything escalated. It happened so suddenly and so brutally that I took a 24-hour flight the next day and went straight home, completely shaken. I know he needed me that time, and not being able to do anything if I'm far would have killed me. Now, he hasn't gone home since, and we've decided to elope next year. I still can't believe this all started because she wanted a prestigious wedding. It's heartbreaking to see how far it went, but at least we're standing together. Please wish us luck and peace as we move forward. Top comments. Commenter 1. This is a woman who can't let go of her son and must micromanage everything. The wedding is just the beginning. Without boundaries, she will never stop. Commenter 2. I hope he filed a police report. Have the police be present when he goes to pick up his things. And either have the wedding you want and don't include his family or elope and have fun. Commenter 3. This didn't happen because of your wedding. She is an abuser, and abusers look for any excuse to mistreat family members. There may be a lot you don't know about his family, his mother, and the family dynamic. She feels she's losing control of him, so she's escalating. This is a dangerous time and your fiancé needs to be on his guard. The whole family standing by and letting her do this likely means that she will unleash hell, and may have in the past, on anyone who gets in her way. It's a common trauma response in abusive families. I hope he's cut contact with her. I'm sure it's extremely difficult in your cultural context, but he needs to heal.